In this part of the adventure series, we find ourselves in the Highlands of Scotland. So in this episode of the adventure series, we find ourselves in Scotland. More importantly and specifically, Loch Maree. So we've left the old goat on the shores of Loch Maree. We've grabbed the kayaks, loaded all our gear, and I've kayaked over to one of over 60 islands here on the loch. The reason why we chose it, the specific loch, is for that very reason. We can explore the islands, we can fish off the shores. There is sea trout, there are salmon, and there's a couple of rules that we obviously need to go through and make sure I highlight those to you guys before you plan a trip up here. An incredibly beautiful and vast wilderness here to explore. It's family friendly. There's so many different activities you can do here, from kayaking, you've got walking trails, you've got hiking, you've got loads of mountains in the area, you've got cycling, and it's absolutely breathtaking on your drive up here. The kayak in here is pretty spectacular as well, coming into these islands, and you'll be very surprised that these islands are actually, they have their own little beaches and little coves, and it's just something to behold, to be honest. So you have, most of the time, you can find yourself on an uninhabited island completely alone, which is quite nice, and that's kind of what we've opted for here. One point that I'd like to make, if you are going to come here in the summer months, between April and August, those are the times that you can't camp on the islands due to nesting birds. From August onwards to obviously the next April, you're allowed to wild camp. The rules they have in place is no campfires due to how fragile the ecosystem is here. And one thing I will recommend is definitely bring some sort of insect repellent for the Scottish midge. If you've not experienced the Scottish midge, you are in for a wild ride. These little buggers are absolutely relentless, and they do not leave you alone, and they will chew you to pieces, literally chew you to pieces. So what we're going to do is explore the island that we're on. We're going to walk around, see what the island has to offer, just kind of see what is here. We know that there is fish eagles. We have, in the waters, there is salmon and there is sea trout. So we're going to try a spot of fishing and see if we can hook maybe one or two of them. So fingers crossed on that front. But more importantly, it's just explore the area and enjoy the wilderness and become part of nature once again. And so we've got a gas cooker, so we're going to not use any fires. We all love a nice warm campfire, but unfortunately we need to respect the wilderness and make sure that we leave it in a state that others can enjoy for generations to come. So hopefully you guys enjoy the episode and enjoy what you're about to witness. So this is the peat I was talking about earlier. You can see the color of the water, how brown that water is. It's all that mulch and stuff that's really soft and holds a lot of moisture. That, when it's dry, it goes up really quickly. So this is why it's important not to make any campfires on here. You can see the actual water brown and how that runs into the loch. You can see how brown that area is, and then it kind of goes a bit lighter here in the middle, and then it goes brown on that side there where the peat is making its way back into the water. So beautiful areas. There's so many of these little coves that you can explore the whole island. There's vast majority of islands out there in that direction there. They're worth exploring. That's obviously the mainland. And there's awesome mountains here in this area. The views are just absolutely spectacular. So a couple of facts about Loch Maree. I'm just tucked away in one of the coves, just getting some shelter from the wind here. So the physical loch covers 11 square miles of water. So there's a large body of water you can physically explore. The majority of the islands are situated around sort of the central part of the loch. And that's definitely worth checking out. The islands cover a large portion of that area. So be sure to, if you're kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding, whatever you're doing, you will have your hands full for most of the day. So do your research in terms of checking the weather. And if you do come up here in the summer months, if you've never been to Scotland before, make sure you prepare yourself for the Scottish midge. They are prolific up here in Scotland, and they do not take any prisoners. They have zero mercy. I was literally ravaged by clouds of midges, so we did speak to the locals, and then they did suggest that if you get Avon soft skin, is a product very simple. Most places sell it, Tesco, Sainsbury's, that kind of place. That tends to work wonders, and everybody swears by that. So you can get insect repellent, that does work to a degree. You've got to get really strong stuff. So the local shops do sell that kind of thing, and that does help, but they do swear by the Avon soft skin, and it doesn't really stink like the insect repellents. The kind of fish that you can expect to catch on Loch Maree if you come into fish here is sea trout and salmon, but be sure to sharpen your pencil before you come up here. The loch used to boom for fishing and was a massive fishing attraction for a lot of fishermen back in the 70s and 80s, and unfortunately that collapsed due to the salmon industry collapsing as well. So that doesn't mean there is no fish here. You just got to really know and do your homework and find out where they are hiding. So it's worth checking that out. But right now we're gonna crack on and kind of look for these elusive fish, and so wish me luck. Hopefully we bag one or two, but who knows, that's why they call it fishing. Well, we may have come up empty-handed in this episode, but look forward to the next episode where we have our hands full in the lake district.